not give up on your legal status. Many people fail to respond to RFE or file an application before the deadline. This is why we offer a strategy session for 15 minutes at no cost to you. Not everyone qualifies. First, you need to speak with our CARES team. We receive many requests, so we recommend you answer a few questions on our website, greencardguys.com. Our mission is to help people live and work in America legally. Go ahead and subscribe below and follow and share. Talk to you soon. What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing? All right. Well, today we're going to talk about immigration solutions. All right. You might have an immigration problem. You're welcome to share it. What's your situation? My name is John Ting. I practice immigration law in the United States, helping you solve your immigration problem and maybe prevent that problem from happening in the first place. Welcome, welcome. It is 2 p.m. Central Time. I apologize. Usually I go on a little bit earlier at 12 Central, but just had to take care of some stuff. So if you're just now joining, maybe it's a good time for you. Where y'all watching from? How y'all doing today? TGIF. All right. I know on TikTok it's kind of backwards. My apologies. Haven't figured that out. I was just trying to show the website. Maybe I need to make that a little smaller. All right, maybe next time. All right, well, I will definitely happy to answer your questions. Drop it in the comment section down below. In the meantime, I want to share a little bit what you need to know. The topic of the day is green card versus citizenship, what you must understand. Okay. And so glad you're doing good, Lioness. Because a lot of people want to are thinking about becoming a citizen, but ultimately 10 years pass, right? They've already a resident for so many years, and they could have applied for citizenship, naturalization to become a U.S. citizen. And something must trigger in their mind. Something happened in maybe in their to their friend, whatnot, or their colleague, and maybe that colleague could not come back into the United States. So I'm going to share at least two different scenarios. I have a TikTok that explained why not becoming a citizen is risky. So I'll share at least a couple right now. And here's the deal: if you have resident status, or you just so happen to have resident status, and maybe you haven't been drinking in a while, or even if you're a regular drinker of alcohol and you go out to the bar, and maybe you tell your friends, "Yeah, I'm just going to have one." Yeah, especially if it's your college buddies. It's not going to be just one. It's usually going to be more. And then you drove your own car. And sure enough, you get pulled over. And even in Texas, even if you get pulled over at your own house, you just pulled up to your house, you can still get a DWI. All right. So keep that in mind. And that DWI is going to affect you for immigration later on. Not saying you can't become a citizen, even with a DWI, but it can delay you even further. So you just don't want a situation where you're just creating problems upon problems and then you have to pay more money to an attorney when you really didn't need to do that. You could have just become a US citizen. Now I know I get it. Some of y'all, maybe especially I think I hope it's safe to say, but I think for nationals of China, your money is tied up. So, and you can't become a US citizen. So that's different though. That's like not many people have that kind of scenario. But some people, they keep telling us, oh, like life happened, it got away from us. But here's the other scenario, number two, that affects a lot of people. Um, we pretty much get a call about this every day. And especially because of pandemic, and because of pandemic, maybe, or a family member was ill, gravely ill, severely ill, and you had to go back and you have residence status. So you're thinking the whole time, there might be a thought in the back of your head, like, I think I need to talk to immigration more. If you have that little thought in your head that you need to do that before you travel, then please do. Okay. Consider us as your point of contact. Okay. Ting Law Group here at greencardguys.tv or .com if you want to go ahead and fill out our form so you get a chat with us. All right. Because the deal is a lot of people have been outside the United States too long. So the general rule is if it's been less than 6 months in a calendar year, then by default you have not abandoned your resident status. But some of y'all know, some of y'all haven't even applied for resident status and already have that feeling like it's going to be so difficult, maybe because of so many maybe because of sponsorship, dollar wise, in terms of showing it on paper income. So now that you finally have resident status, take it to the next step when you're eligible to become a US citizen. Because once you become a US citizen, customs not going to give you any hard time like, bro, how long you been outside US? Have you abandoned? It looks like you abandoned your status. And they're going to ask you if you abandoned your status. They're going to tell you, hey, you've been outside US too long. You've abandoned your residency. And so some people have done their research. They've applied for SB1, returning resident visa. And every time someone calls us, of course, they've been denied. And so ultimately, you have to go through the whole process over again. It's annoying. But by the time you've done that, it could have been like 2 years past, and you're still stuck outside America. So, folks, now that you're here on the channel, give us a follow, okay? On your respective platform. If you have any questions in the future, we will try our best as a team to get back to you. I'm not the only one responding, especially on a TikTok message or YouTube comments, Facebook message. That'd be impossible because I got to manage and train the team, mentor them. So please know it's not always me. But I think you can tell when it is me or not. I mean, I ask my team members to mention their name if it's someone else, right? We're not trying to like impersonate or something. So, but anyways, that's a kind of problem that could affect a lot of people without you really realizing it. So that's why you should be on here, follow our channel, and get the real time situation. And you can, and following also, even if you don't want to watch in the future, you can remember to message us. Okay. All right. But that's the hot like summary of that. Now let's get to some questions. What's up, Tony? TGIF. By the way, Tony, hopefully your San Francisco 49ers stay intact. No one's going to be, if you have free agents, hopefully get signed up. I do think that the 49ers will go back. All right, let's see. Let's answer some questions here. Thank you so much for your questions. Hope there's a way we can help you, guide you in the right direction. All right, Courtney asked, just wondering how long for EAD to work and travel abroad via marriage. Courtney, you might not even need it because you're a resident. If it's based on marriage, I think you said, then you might not need it. You might get your resident status approved before your work permit comes. But assuming, let's make the safe assumption your resident status, your 485 application won't be approved that quickly. But the fastest we've had it was 2 months. Okay. We have the same approach for every case. So whether we do provide 2 extra documents or not, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be much faster, right? But to answer your question directly, generally 3 to 5 months after you file your case, you file all the forms together. Okay. Hopefully that helps you give some idea. And hopefully it's going to be shorter time for you. Lioness, you're doing good. Great. Calix, we are Hotstar agent. We are based in Houston, Texas. We have a physical office. Okay, we're legit. We got a physical office. You can find us. We got a Google business profile with over 300 5-star reviews. Thank you so much to everyone who's provided us a review in the past. Okay, how long is fiance visa taking? Taking now. You just filed for your husband. Well, if you just filed for your husband, did you do the fiance visa way, or maybe you meant your file for your fiance? Well, in general, fiance visa process takes a longer journey overall than a spousal marriage visa pathway. The benefit of the traditional benefit of the fiance visa is that the interview is supposed to happen sooner abroad, and so that way your spouse can come, your fiance come into U.S. sooner, but then still have to go through file another set of forms for the actual resident status part. However, since the pandemic, that has not been the case timing wise. All right. By the way, I don't intend to skip anyone on the questions on the comment. Just that TikTok, these platforms moving around, so it's a bit hard to follow. And Instagram is lagging behind. By the way, if y'all have your own channels, I'm sure you realize this too. Instagram is a little slower for some reason. Syncing it live is not as easy when you do it multiple platforms. But what do I know? Only immigration. All right, how much is Dama favor? How much is fee for filing for a parent? Well, it depends. Is your parent in the United States or not? If your parent is in the United States currently with the enter the visa, uh, and then that's 1760. So that is before April 1st because April 1st is when the fees will go up. Okay, it's not an April Fool's joke. It's happening. It's all like I've shared it in a video before. It's and I shared it on the screen before, so it's legit. It's happening. All right, folks. Let's see. Ooh, okay, MJ. What is that? Scorpion as your emoji? Sending proof that you're pregnant can make the process faster for you to get the green card? No, not necessarily. The government wants you to think that, but not necessarily. But then again, I mean, certainly showing proof like a sonogram, is that what we call it? Sonogram with the picture. Um, yeah, that certainly will help, but that doesn't make it faster. And more likely you wouldn't get an RFE for marriage evidence in a sense. But of course, just providing the sonogram of that picture is not enough, right? You guys still gotta show joint bank account. That's what we recommend. Some of y'all are shy. All right. Let's see, Courtney, your follow-up question. TN visa to GC, Canada to America. America. How long for authorization? Okay, I guess I did answer that. All right. Thanks for the follow, Nathan. And your question, Nathan. How to go from F1 student visa to green card through marriage. So you don't actually have to file a change of status application, which I know is kind of strange because if you're going from like F1 to something else like H1B or J1 or O1, P1, you would have to file a change of status application. But if you're going from anything else to green card to through marriage, you don't have to. All right. It's quite strange. All right, Sarita. Hang in there, folks. If you asked a question a while ago, I will try to get to that soon. And I'm looking at y'all too, Instagram folks and YouTube. All right. Sarita, you applied for your husband and it's approved? Okay, great. What's approved? The petition only sounds like? What is the next process? So if you only file a petition I-130 and you're asking me what's the next process, I'm making a safe assumption that your spouse is outside the United States. Then you're going to have to expect that the National Visa Center, NVC, is going to email you a welcome email. You know what? Let me see. What do they actually say in the subject line? I think case created or something. Let's see. Let me get it real time for y'all. Okay, here we go. What would it say? Okay. Notice of the subject line would be notice of immigrant visa case creation. Okay. Yeah, that's what it is. That's the subject line. Yeah, it's weird. They send it like automated, like 2 or 3 in the morning. Yep. Notice of immigrant visa case creation. So it will have in the middle of the email NVC case number. Okay. It's the first 3 characters are alphabet, and then the rest of it is digits. Okay. That's based on the consulate embassy location. And then below that is invoice ID number. Very, very important. You got to know those two. Do not delete that email. We've had some clients that are just prone to delete. Don't do that, please. Especially don't do that with immigration stuff. Okay, you gotta know it. I mean, because there's been times. I mean, fortunately, we get the email every 99% of the time, but there's been a few times when we don't get the email. It's because the clerk or the NVs, customer service representative with National Visa Center, they didn't input our email correctly. They missed it by like one letter, or they like put instead of a OH, they like switched it, transposed it or something. So please do not delete your emails. Alrighty. Let me scroll back down so I can see. You're welcome, Courtney. What's going on, folks? Got any plans this weekend? Not drinking and driving? Great. All right. Not getting into a fake marriage? Great. Please don't do something that I wouldn't do. All right. All right, Maria, what's up? You got married in with a U.S. citizen husband while you're in the U.S. with an ESTA. Okay, can you apply for spousal visa? Yes. Through ESTA, you can with a U.S. citizen husband. When it's a resident spouse, we don't recommend that through ESTA. But yes, you can, Maria. Happy to answer your questions further. All right, let's see here. Scroll down. Thank you so much for your questions. I appreciate it. Let's see. I'm trying to make sure I don't skip anyone. What are the documents needed for EB3 visa? A whole ton. I mean, that's really based on your employer as well. So, but we'll have a webinar type of workshop. So, stay tuned, Badsy, on TikTok if you're just wondering. I mean, documents don't matter if you're wondering like requirements. It's more about the legal requirements first, and then we worry about the documents after that. So, and then also if you have a sponsor, you have a company sponsor. If you don't have a company sponsor you, then it certainly doesn't matter what the documents are. But welcome to. We're gonna do webinars, and so it's like a specific topic, and so we'll find a way to update y'all, whether it's through like underneath the like on TikTok, maybe a story to keep y'all updated. I don't know how to share a link with that, but maybe as a comment or something. But YouTube has like the community tab, so we can share there or under the pin a comment under a YouTube channel. All right. So stay tuned. I think our first one will be March 6th. I think that's a Friday. Something like that. You're welcome, Sarita. All right. Okay, odd boy. Being on a payment plan with IRS can affect your N400 interview. No, it won't. In fact, they like that. They want to see it on paper. Okay, they want to see that you have some kind of agreement to pay back those taxes. So that is good. Capes, what have you been ordered to be deported? Okay, order removal, but the country doesn't want you. Yeah, there's some countries like that. They're the communist countries that don't have a certain like expatriation treaty with the United States. I think that's what they call it. I know Vietnam is one of them. Let's see what else. But yeah, you're stuck in a like catch 22 situation. So you might have already had to go to your ICE office, your local ICE office, usually once a year, but maybe because pandemic, maybe they didn't require that for you anymore. Um, but typically you want to go through the apply for I-220A, I believe it is, for stay removal. So you get that work permit. Calix at on YouTube. You're in LA, wondering, do I have a physical office? I do have a physical office, but it's in Houston, Texas. Do you prefer we connect online? I mean, I'm happy to meet in person, but yeah, again, I have an office in Houston. You're in LA. I mean, I bet just trying to get to LAX for you is probably an hour, get through that traffic. But yeah, we have what do you call kind of like Zoom. We have a link, video link. Alrighty, save you some time there and money. Which, by the way, folks, is a good time to mention. If you're wondering how to get in contact with us, our website is greencardguys.com, and go to contact page and answer a few questions, and it should redirect you to a calendar. Okay, on YouTube, you can see it here or Instagram, just like that. Okay, don't be shy. Happy to answer questions for you. What will happen is that our cares team specialists will chat with you the first conversation at least, and they will make sure that it's something we can help with. Because some people schedule and like on a Friday or Saturday, and then it turns out that the spouse had a court hearing on Monday, or your RFE is due within a week. We just can't help you. That's not enough time. So that's why we try to respond quickly, um, and let you know that kind of information. All right, let's see. Lady Green on TikTok. Can a brother help your brother's your brother's out of status? How long does it take? I think is your final part of your question. Yeah, sibling, a U.S. citizen sibling can file for you a petition, but it sounds like one of you is in the United States without status or overstayed your visa. The unfortunate part is later on, you have to show because it's what we call family preference category. The beneficiary, foreign national, has to show that that person has maintained status. Okay, regardless. So if not, then you have to be eligible for a waiver. And a qualifying relative, in that sense, for a waiver, 601A, it has to be a spouse or a parent who has residency or U.S. citizenship. So, but yeah, that might work out because if the sibling who is a U.S. citizen is sponsoring a parent, eventually, even if your parent doesn't want to come to the U.S. long term because they're used to life abroad, it's like a it's like the family tree, right? You got to help your brother. You ultimately need to help your parent to become eventually become a U.S. citizen, step by step. Okay, so hopefully that gives you an idea. Okay, I got 5 minutes, then I got a team meeting. But yeah, that's the kind of strategy that our team can share with you. It's not just okay. Sorry, you can't do it right now. But what is it? What is it long term? The long term journey. Um, don't give up, folks. Hey Ken, what's going on? You're Would you be adopt your nephews that are 16, 17? No, sorry. The rule it has to be under 16 years old. So sorry, Ken. Wish we chatted about a year ago. Ooh, they lost their parents. So sorry for y'all's loss. I remember having a call like that about several months ago. Um, let's chat. I mean, I think yeah, I think we came up with an option, but it wouldn't be anytime soon. Ooh, yeah. I mean, after they get a possibly a degree, then they can apply for H-1B or have a company sponsor them. But I know it's too soon right now. But you got to have that long-term plan ready to go. Okay. Is there any Vargas Cynthia? Is there any way to adjust for your parents? They have an illegal entry and you're a U.S. citizen. So your parents, you could file a petition for them. Step number one. But after that, or after we file that, we start preparing for the waiver. And but the thing is, your parents need a qualifying relative. An adult child or minor child does not count. Your parents need a spouse or their own parent who has status. So I'm going to make a safe assumption they don't have that situation. At least the parent with status. So on that note, you might people might wonder, was it worth it? If there's no qualifying relative, doesn't it make sense to file a petition? No, it's not worth. It's not. It doesn't make sense. That's why we have the long-term strategy if there's ones that's possible. But there are some exceptions though. Okay, so that'd be a situation to contact our office to make sure your parents, at least one of your parents, have that kind of exception that applies depending on the immigration history. Thanks for the following folks. Appreciate it. Nathan, I think I meant answer this for you the other day. But you might have missed it. So if you're wondering how soon to get married, how soon to apply for your package after getting married, there's no set timing, but we really recommend just taking the time to build up the evidence, not taking time like literally take your time, but some people might need like a 1, 2 months at least to get the joint bank account together. Like, of course, if you have a checklist, you get it done. But there's no rule. We've had plenty of clients that have received status when filed pretty close in time. We don't suggest that, but there's no black and white rule on that. Okay. All right. Days Rail on TikTok. You had your interview on Tuesday. Status still shows interview scheduled. When do they update it? I guess is what you're asking. When to make a decision. So yeah, we've had officers tell us before, hey, expect me to do something, have it complete by the end of the week, and that was like Wednesday was the interview. But let's just say, and that person didn't have it done online by Friday, but on that following Monday it was updated. So, but if your officer that interviewed you didn't say anything like that, um, then I mean, generally speaking, to give you a general idea, for us at least, is like average 1 week. But the issue is that about getting the resident card itself. Some people have seen on their sharing experience here is that yeah, they get approved fairly quickly, but then there's been a couple of people who haven't actually received the card itself. So that was kind of strange. Shay, how much increased it? Well, I mean, it depends what you're applying for, but assuming you're applying for what's it called? Thought I had it here somewhere. If you're applying for marriage type case, okay. So right now, for a marriage type based case, and the person is here in the United States, that's currently 1,760. Um, but it's going to go up to roughly $3,005 if my math is correct. So yeah, a crap ton, a lot more. That's almost double. So y'all got to get your act together. Okay, if you're wondering like, oh shit, I don't know what I'm doing, that's a pretty good indication that you might want to contact our law firm if, of course, you feel comfortable with us. Don't wait around because the government does not accept payment plan. Okay, but we do. Okay, we're happy to work with you. Our team can chat with you to see how we can make it work. Because yeah, if you're already eligible, or maybe you're not quite sure, but you want to chat with an attorney, you're welcome to go to our website greencardguys.com and answer a few questions, and our team you can schedule a meeting. All right. The first meeting is not with an attorney. We have a care team specialist that answers, ask you a few questions to just verify if we can even help you in the first place. All right. Let's see. Sanjana, how long do you have to wait to apply for a green card after winning asylum from a judge? Congratulations, Sanjana. So, because first of all, most people know getting asylum in America is a very high standard, is very difficult. So, and the general rule is that you have to wait for you to be approved for residency. You have to wait 1 year of physical continuous presence in America. However, in February, around this time last year, they changed the policy so that you can actually apply as soon as you get approved for asylum. So now that you're asylee, but and that's because this whole 485 based on asylees takes a hell of a long time, at least 2 to 3 years. And I think part of it's because they do some kind of due diligence in the back to make sure your situation, your application originally for asylum was not fraudulent. Because I've had some people call in and chat with us, and it turns out it's a fraudulent case, and it affected the kids. So, and the kids had no idea what was the heck was going on. Of course, very unfortunate. Alrighty, so you can apply now. All right, Maria. Maria, I answered your question already. All right. Okay, so this question's about affidavit of support about the money to show on paper, okay, to USCIS about sponsorship. Shito Shinari is a U.S. citizen and wants to apply GC application for his or her parents, and how much income does that person have to show? So you want to Google search 864p There's two different columns. One for active military, need to show less income. But on the right column is for everyone else. Okay, so most people are going to be on the right column. It's based on household size. So, for example, if you have a spouse or you have other dependents like your own children, um, and also add on your two parents that you're going to sponsor, right? So just depending on household size, and that will help you, like kind of like a Rubik matrix, I guess. 864p is what you want to Google search. All right. Massey on TikTok. You're okay. This I apologize. This gotta be the last question. Gotta go to a team meeting. So in the meantime, give us a follow, okay, on your respective platform. I wish I could come on earlier. Um, let's see. Okay, Massey, you're a US citizen. Your husband got 2 years green card. Now apply for removal. Yeah, it's called remove conditions. You both would need to sign it, okay, on this application. 751, by the way. So I don't know when your husband got CR status, but let's just assume it was like yesterday. Let's just make it easier and say January 1st, okay? 2024. So about 21 months at the earliest is 21 months that you and your husband can file this 751 application. The deadline is the 24th month. Now, if somehow you miss it, which you shouldn't now that you're here live listening to the question or answer, um, if somehow you miss it, you miss the 24-month mark, okay? It's a 3-month window. It's still okay, but you want to file as soon as possible because USCIS could refer your husband or spouse to immigration court. Are they that quick? It's hard to say. May depend on locality, but you just don't want to risk it. So put it on your calendar because we do that for our clients. All right. All right, folks. I appreciate it. Y'all have a wonderful weekend, TGIF. And I'll see you hopefully maybe Monday. All right. Take care. Bye bye. Happy President's Day. Give us a follow.